broken anarchy. The broken anarchy. The broken anarchy. The broken anarchy.
Alrighty, what's good, stream? What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's well. Hope everybody had a good week, good Monday, good everything. We are live and chilling. So, definitely got a more of a chill show for you guys today. I had a decently busy week. You know, the holidays are here, trying to get shit ready for Christmas, trying to get shit ready for the new year. Yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill. We'll get into it more in a bit. But welcome to episode 47 of Music Mondays. Like I said, more of a chill show this week. Got a decent amount of submissions, actually. Episode 46 is live on the channel, so if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. YouTube.com/ZombSlays, or you could just look up Music Mondays on YouTube, you'll find it. That was a decent episode. Last week we talked about pay for play podcasts. We talked about just a lot of the paywalls that creatives face, musicians face, that a lot of people face. And it's just a really big issue. And if you haven't seen episode 46, make sure you go check it out. How do we submit music? Submit music for the show. You submit music before 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you follow us on Twitter at All Music Mondays, there'll be tweets every Tuesday for the following week's podcast. So submissions close at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then submissions get reviewed, and then the following day on Tuesday, submissions open for next week's show. But in short, it's done on Twitter, so make sure you follow us on Twitter. So, back to the point. Episode 46 is definitely a gem. I felt like I haven't had a lot of gems in a while, that were like, I guess that I felt were beneficial for new artists, future artists, current artists, and that's definitely one for the books for sure. There's a lot of those, but I feel like episodes like 40 through like that one were like just a lot of chill reviews. And to be honest, I'm not complaining, because getting that many reviews is always a good thing, and it fills up the show's time, you know what I mean? So I definitely can't complain about that. So, like I said, 46 is live. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And as I was just explaining, submissions open tomorrow for next week's show, as well as SoundCloud Sunday. SoundCloud Sunday submissions open this Wednesday, every Wednesday basically, and then the playlist drops on Sunday. So definitely submit your SoundCloud tracks there as well. And then of course, make sure you're liking and showing love to the videos as well if you're featured. But as for today's show, one thing I definitely wanted to stress and really get into was recruiting. Music Mondays is a platform where there is a lot of structure, and I have ways that I need to be doing things and ways that this platform needs to flow. So with that being said, recruiting people is becoming more urgent. I need more people on the team. I need writers, specifically writers for sure, that are willing to, cause like there's always this debate, right, as to where like everybody wants to get paid for shit and everybody wants to get yada yada yada. The way that every platform that I've ever built, and any good platform gets built, is money isn't really the objective, because money comes when you're doing what you love. And as long as you're organic and passionate about it, money's not something that Music Mondays will ever have to worry about. Because for one, that's not the goal, and for two, people appreciate real shit. So that's the thing. And at the end of the day, depends on the person, in my opinion. Well, that goes without saying, but that's not what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, when you don't do shit for money, you go farther, especially in a creative space. So with that being said, anybody looking to become a part of the Music Monday staff or get into writing if you're an independent writer, because it is hard to get published in good platforms if you're an independent writer. That's the thing. I'm lucky that I had the platform that I did when I was doing a lot of writing in 2018 and 2019. Like when I was on like my super long article streak, I was just grateful to have a platform that was able to support that, and the underground was just in a place where that type of content was thriving. But as of right now, the independent writer landscape is kind of weird. Like, there aren't a lot of people who are actively writing, and if they are, they're looking for money. They're not looking for like a career, you know what I mean? Like, they're not looking to build something of their own. They're more so looking for like a paycheck, and like that's all good and fine, but that's not what we're doing here, and that's not how you get farther in the long term. That's more short. It's very short term thinking, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to be doing that. And that's something we discuss on the show all the time. I don't have to sit and tell people that, but you guys know what it is when you come onto the show. And especially with me, like it's just I've put in too much work to how do I say it? Like people know what time it is with me too. Like it's just not. If I wanted to pay or sell shit like articles and interviews and shit like that, I could have been doing that a long time ago. But you can ask anybody that I've ever interviewed or anybody I've ever interacted with. I've never made a dime off this scene, and that's something I pride myself off of. You know what I mean? Because you look at the work and you look at everything that I've done. You'd be like, damn, where's your where's your fucking dough? And there is no dough because it wasn't for dough. And relationships fall apart and people spread out and, you know, pursue money. Like, that was a big issue I faced, was people just kind of copped out for a quick paycheck or a quick this or a quick that. Like, if Music Mondays, or I guess when Music Mondays gets to like a comfortable point and people want a piece of the pie, it's not about like selling out at the first check. Like, you don't want to do that. And like, I don't think I'll ever do that. Like, Music Mondays isn't like trying to like build something and then just fucking sell it. Like, it's just not like that. Because when people want what you have, it just makes you want to go harder with what you're doing. You know what I mean? So that's a really big part of this. But back to the point, if you're a writer in a creative space, if you're writing about all types of artists and you're already getting published, this isn't for you. We're looking for more small-time writers, or even writers of that nature that do want to help out the underground, that do want to help out Music Mondays, and do want to write on our platform and be published here. Because I can do everything, but I can't do everything at the same time, right? So you're talking about running socials, thinking about Music Mondays future, developing content, make sure all the content is done. You're talking playlists, the podcast, uploading it all, and writing on top of it. And you know, running Discord, running TikTok, running all the other socials. Like, it's all very time consuming, and I need 1 or 2 people on hand that are ready and know the possibilities of this type of platform that really supports unheard of independent small creatives. And I'll just leave it at that, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, if you're looking to become a part of Music Mondays, if you're looking to write for us, if you're looking to become a talent scout, even talent scouts are really, really useful, because it's just become so hard to find independent creatives. Like, you really have to go through the needle in the haystack. Like, algorithms don't favor small creatives. Small creatives aren't like as active on social media as they used to be. So if you're a talent scout and you know of a lot of people that deserve a lot of love, definitely come join Music Mondays, for sure. The thing is at the end of the day, this is still like a serious platform. So if you're like a hobbyist, or you just do like music like on the side, or you're not really like if you like, you need to eat, sleep, and breathe underground music. And I'm not talking to you, Windowits. I'm not talking to you. I'll address that in a second. But at the end of the day, this isn't like a sort of hobby. I've turned down money. I've had people snake me out of money. I've built plenty of platforms. I've worked with creatives. I've done the whole runaround, ran shows, book shows, you name it. I've already touched on it or done it. So that's the thing here. This isn't a side gig for me, and it shouldn't be a side gig for you. Anybody that signs on to Music Mondays definitely should know that. But the writing of music, sorry for insisting I could sign in. I love this kind of stuff. Yeah, but I'm talking about like written articles for artists and interviewing artists and that sort of thing. I'm not sure how well you're into the underground space, so that'd be something we'd have to talk about. But I mean, shit, if you got a portfolio, let me see it. But that's that on recruiting. Writers, talent scouts, and playlists, not really, because playlists aren't that hard. I can definitely fit that in my schedule. I'm not looking to like pass off easy shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still trying to do the majority of stuff, but I do need people on the back end of things that do want to publish content and need a place to publish content. So relatively important. What do you mean by a portfolio? Like a curriculum? No, like a portfolio of your writing. Like, if you're a writer, where's your portfolio? But that's that on that. I had one more thing to address, that was definitely rather important, before we get into reviews. Oh yeah, song hosting. If you're an artist out there who is looking for a home, like on SoundCloud or on YouTube, to have any single or even a project hosted, that's definitely something that Music Mondays is getting back into. The song hosting was always like a real big thing, and that's something that I think we could benefit from as well as artists, just collabing with Music Mondays, you know what I mean? Those type of collaborations are really, really sick. So if you're an artist or a producer or anybody who's looking to get music hosted or has extra music, Music Mondays is definitely looking to get songs hosted for sure. But right now, just on our SoundCloud, but in the future, I think, I'm not sure yet, but maybe when we get to 50 episodes, I'll switch to the official Music Mondays YouTube channel. It hasn't been made yet because I didn't want to spread too thin. I always say this, but I really don't want to spread too thin, and I think something like that would really hurt the platform if it's too early. You know what I mean? I really want all of Music Mondays content in like a condensed space, and I think that's definitely something I'm going to have some thought on for sure. But definitely SoundCloud hosting is something that we're open to, and if you're looking to get hosted on our SoundCloud, for sure, shoot us an email or a DM. Absolutely. So recruiting for sure, YouTube in the future, and song hosting. All of those things are super, super important right now for the start of the new year, and a lot of those things I want to get out the way before I start planning out 2022. So it's definitely rather important. So, like I said, decent amount of reviews today, for sure. We have, let me see. One, two, three, four, what, 5 submissions, 6 submissions? This should be good. Okay, yeah, so let me pull these up and we'll talk about this for a second. For those of you that are new, for those of you watching on YouTube, for those of you who are listening on any audio platform or just not looking at the screen, these are what our tweets look like, and they read as follows. Artists and creatives, submissions are open for live reviews at Music Mondays, live on 12/13/21, which is today. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links and portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So not just music. Music Mondays is always looking for all types of art. We've literally touched on pretty much everything: fashion, NFTs, beats, music videos, paintings, digital art, you name it, we've touched on it. So if you're looking to submit anything, make sure you look out for these tweets. I believe somebody in the chat asked earlier, how do you submit? This is exactly how you submit. Look for these tweets every Tuesday. Basically, that's about it. We pretty much go through everything here, and the show's not really about critiquing. It's more so constructive criticism and an overall basis on what I like. But that's the gist of that. One question's on my right song, jazz, funk, Sinatra style, Harry James, so I don't know any tool to help me implement music into my lyrics. I think them with music already, just for the record. You can send me a DM, Windowitz. I don't know specifically what you're talking about, but send me a DM. For sure. Definitely not the place to ask. But, we can get right into these for sure. For sure. So, let's pause our lo-fi really quick. Now, first up, we have a returning artist for sure. One of our super regulars, a good friend of the show's, Rude Boy Romeo, a consistently submitting artist. Always submits his latest and greatest for sure. He linked a new small EP. Let's check it out. Rude Boy has this this really great classic underground style that I always stress I really like. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about here for sure. But this should definitely be good. Sex interlude. Hold on. Oh, okay. So the first track off the joint. Okay, bet. So a 3-track EP. Sex interlude, drive me crazy, things change. 19. Let's dive right into it. Now, you guys know what I'm talking about with the whole if you're, well, for one, we never listen to full EPs or albums on the show just because obviously there's never enough time. But what we do go off of, if you link a full album or project, is the first track. And one thing I always recommend is having the first track on your project absolutely fine-tuned for a fresh listener, or maybe somebody who's returning, and just make sure it's something that grabs the listener and makes them want to keep going through the project. You know what I mean? And it doesn't even have to be something hard or crazy. Like, it just has to be a vibe. Make sure your first track's a vibe, and then it'll keep people just pushing through the track list, basically. It gives incentive, you know? So, Rude Boy Romeo, Sex Interlude, of his new 3-track EP. Let's go. Okay, really interesting here, and I had a thought. Um, I had a thought early on where I love when artists take a chance and branch out, and that's exactly what Rude Boy Romeo did here. He definitely did something different from his norm, and I really fuck with him for that, for sure. So let's break it down by our three usual categories. We'll talk about the beat, we'll talk about flow and lyrics, and we'll talk about overall theme and vibe of the song. So this is definitely an EP that's more love centered, more emotional centered. It's definitely based off emotion. You could tell that right off rip, just by the song titles, the cover. Definitely an excellent theme and vibe here for sure. Now, just based off of Sex Interlude alone, you could tell why it's called Sex Interlude. Just my thoughts on this right off rip. I would have put Sex Interlude in the middle and then Drive Me Crazy as number one. And that's just me, and I haven't even listened to Drive Me Crazy yet, but I felt like Sex Interlude was definitely an interlude for sure. And of course, as you know, interludes always go somewhere around the middle of a project, even if it is an EP or something rather small. But overall, though, like for the interlude itself, I definitely enjoyed it. This is one of those vibes where if you're down, if you're having a shit day, if you're one of those people who listens to more emotional music like right after you've been real fucking fucked up and sad, this is definitely, I can already tell, one of those projects that is going to give you that vibe for sure. Now, let's talk about the beat choice and the sample here. Definitely a little rough around the edges when it's mixed in with the vocals, but I do enjoy the beat choice and the sample choice here for sure. All tracks produced by Illuminil. Um, Absolutely fire producer. We've reviewed Rude Boy's tracks produced by him before, but definitely a great beat choice. I felt like maybe he sent him a pack and he was like, "Oh yeah, definitely, this is a vibe." So I definitely fuck with the beat choice here. I'd say I'd say it's definitely one of the more harder ones to even attempt to throw vocals on, even if they are distorted. So I think Rude Boy did a really, really good job with that. So definitely an interesting beat choice, but nonetheless, I like it. Definitely fits the theme for sure. Now, let's talk about vocals here. I did mention they were a little rough around the edges. It definitely felt like there was some, like, a little bit of clashing, but nothing like too overwhelming. It still keeps that raw underground vibe for sure. It definitely keeps it like rough enough as to where like, oh my god, like this is gold, but it doesn't give you that like, oh my god, this is fucking horrible kind of feeling. You know what I mean? Because that's a real fine line. Like people try to manipulate that like raw underground sound and just end up sounding like shit. You know what I mean? And this is not one of those cases at all. I think it ended up blending really well. So vocals are stellar, really distorted, really drowned out, and really just fits the vibe of the beat. You know what I mean? It's very muggy, very just. If this was a picture, it would be a gray, cloudy, rainy day for sure. Um, that's definitely the vibe I got here from just the vocals and the overall sample alone. But before I get into the theme, let's talk about structure. I really like the structure here, especially for an interlude. That's sort of why I would have liked this in the middle, because the structure is so good. It's definitely structured like an interlude should be, and I think you nailed that 100%, especially with the vocals. But overall theme, definitely fits the theme of the EP. Definitely fits the theme of everything Rude Boy wanted out of this project, I think. This is definitely one of those ones at face value you could tell he put some time into, and I feel like as long as he keeps doing these sort of branching out projects and isn't staying stagnant, and I always tell him this every review, he's gonna go far 100%. Like just keep trying shit like this. Like even if it doesn't come out the best, or even if it doesn't this or that, like, the fact that you're even releasing music like you are is fucking amazing. Like, don't let nobody ever tell you shit. I don't care who the fuck they are. I don't care who they know. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. This is exactly how you should be doing it, for sure. Just keep vibing, keep branching out, keep putting more effort into your projects, and you're absolutely gonna go far. So overall, it's a great vibe for me. I fuck with this a lot. I definitely like the overall theme here too. Like, I like when people have meaning to their submissions and their music and their art, you know what I mean? You can tell that this isn't just like a fucking hobby for a Rude Boy Romeo. Like you could just tell this is not some, like, I just do this in my spare time. I mean, maybe I could be wrong, but putting this much effort in either way is still fucking good. It's a real good thing. So shout out Rude Boy for the submission. Always a pleasure to come onto your page and show you some love. So make sure you go show him some love. Probably one of the best up and coming underground creatives we found so far. Maybe I'll do some like end of the year, like best artists we found type shit. Yeah, I gotta write that down. I fuck with that. But either way, Rude Boy Romeo, I appreciate you. Thank you for the submission. Much love, homie. Per usual, all artists featured in today's episode and every episode are linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. So if you're looking for any of these artists featured here today, that's where they're located. Now, our next submission is an artist known as Max, or I'm sorry, Mac 2 times. But Mac has submitted to us pretty consistently over the last probably 2 weeks, from our SoundCloud Sundays playlist to our podcast playlist. And it's actually one of the more talented underground trap artists we found, for sure. Definitely has like a raw hip hop sound, but has a really, really good modern trap sound as well. So let's pop this open a new tab and let's give some thoughts. One thing I will recommend too, I just noticed this, Mac, if you're ever on your SoundCloud, next time you can change your URL so it doesn't say user 950 number. You can change it to say Mac or whatever, so your links look a little bit more comfortable, you know? But definitely excited to get into this one 100%. So Mac 2 times, supposed to be Proud Roki and Jeff. Let's go.
It's not how it's supposed to be. I've been thinking about you all day, I still can't go to sleep. You were steady making promises that you couldn't keep. I can't even trust you no more cause you just for the streets. All them lies you told me, that shit had me so beat. I guess it's time that I accept my defeat. Been through so much shit I can't even believe. Walking down a hill and this shit forever steep. I see heartbreak again, how can this be? This shit gon' turn me to a beast. It's not how it's supposed to be. I've been thinking about you all day, I still can't go to sleep. You were steady making promises that you couldn't keep. I can't even trust you no more cause you just for the streets. All them lies you told me, that shit had me so beat. I guess it's time that I accept my defeat. Been through so much shit I can't even believe. Walking down a hill and this shit forever sleep. I see heartbreak again, how can this be? Never put your trust in a bitch even with a ring on. Cause if you see another nigga with a look at something better, heartbreak it gon' be long. Swear it's gon' be my theme song. Niggas always right, how could we be wrong? Telling me you love me, telling me you care with nothing but a lead on. I just need somebody to lean on. I don't tell nobody about the shit cause they don't feel me for real. Why did you leave me, supposed to be here with me still? At night in my bed, I was get too cold and I just be catching chills. How the fuck I'm the one that's doing right but end up getting killed? I think I just need some drugs cause I don't wanna feel this pain no more. I've been feeling too long, I've been lonely in the field. I'm just trying to get a meal, focus on myself, I just wanna be great, trying to die a legend here. When I come up, don't try to get in my life, that ain't what I wanna hear. It's not how it's supposed to be. I've been thinking about you all day, I still can't go to sleep. You were steady making promises that you couldn't keep. I can't even trust you no more cause you just for the streets. All them lies you told me, that shit had me so beat. I guess it's time that I accept my defeat. Been through so much shit I can't even believe. Walking down a hill and this shit forever steep. I see heartbreak again, how can this be? This shit gon' turn me to a beast. Shit gon' turn me to a beast. Walking down a hill, this shit forever steep. Heartbreak again, how can this be?
I definitely fuck with it. I definitely have some thoughts on it though, for sure. Now let's break it down by our usual categories. Let's talk about beat, let's talk about vocals, let's talk about structure and theme. So beat choice here for what the theme is and what the song title is perfect. Shout out Roki and Jeff. I think you guys killed it on the production for sure. Beat sounds really crisp. I really like the beat choice. I think it's perfect. I have no gripes at all. Structure's good on it, production's good, mix is good. Solid beat choice, 100%. Perfect. Like, I'm a huge fan of any guitar melody, so the sad trap melodies are definitely a vibe for sure for me. A definitely, like, more of a personal favorite, I'd say. So pretty much biased, but overall, great beat choice, 100%. Now, let's talk about vocals. Overall mix, I like the mix on this. I think Mac sounds really solid. I think he sounds like he's supposed to be on this. I think he really was comfortable on this beat for sure. One thing I will note is I felt like at times during the verses, sort of like in these sections and like the sort of like the meat of the song, I felt like Mac almost struggled a little bit to keep up with the flow that he wanted to present here. I felt like there was a little bit of like offbeat sort of vibe. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but it felt like it was just a little off. But overall, didn't take too much away from the song. I definitely got thrown off by it. It was just something that I noticed, but the overall listener shouldn't pick up on things like that. I mean, if they do, it's not major, but at the end of the day, that's just something that I noticed. Overall, though, I'd say vocal structure and where the hook and where the verses are placed, excellent. Really, really solid. Overall theme, it's literally what it's supposed to be. No pun intended, but it's exactly what it's supposed to be. You take a really, really solid guitar melody, you throw really good drums on it, and you throw an artist that has something to speak, and you get a track like this. I think Mac definitely wrote to this in a really good way. Regardless of how it was performed, I think this is still a solid piece of work. Just because it definitely means something to him, and it's probably a track that is just, it comes from the heart, you know what I mean? And as an artist, I know what that's like. So in my book, this is an A+ for me. Shout out to Mac for laying all this out. I think he did a really good job. And I can't wait to hear from you in the future, man. Shout out to you for the submission. Everybody go show Mac love. Everybody go follow him on socials. Go play Supposed to Be. Show him some love, man. Really, really, really solid track right here. And as per usual, every artist featured in today's show and every show will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. So make sure you go show him some love. Now, up next, we have Money Green Music. And Money Green Music is a returning collective filled with, I believe, 3+ artists, probably more. And this one specific artist, Skino B, who is absolutely fire. And they linked a track titled Pickups and Drop Offs by Skino B. Dropped this year, 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Cover is absolutely nutty. Whoever did this cover, a fucking one. I feel like this cover is insane. I have a feeling what we're about to get into, but this is probably going to be a really, really hard track. So, Skino B, like I said, returning artist. Definitely a solid artist with a lot of old school mixed with new school potential for sure. So Skino B, Pickups, Drop Offs, 2 minutes 12 seconds. Let's get into it.
Yeah, look. Pickups and drop offs, state to state like we got tours, chewing like we got lockjaw. This town only got 4 more. Burn it down till we got more. When we hit the road, it's no fear. Hit the stores, I ain't bring no gear. If it's calm, we bring the load there. No worries, bro, keep a cold near. Wolf Game Puck, I'm an old cook. Chef it up, I made it a whole book. Mellow ball, I'm passing a no look. Them notes look like a phone book. Can't trust many cause they switch. While I'm dipping in the A6, drive a side, pull up with they bitch. Drive a side, pull up with they bitch. I'm forever ducking that lame shit. Ain't into that fame shit. Feel like Mitch when I lead. Think them pretty hoes fuck the same shit. Nameless, you could be another John Doe. You know where this 9 go. In different cities on my back like Rondo. Merch, I made bunch off of Pablo. Damn, that was 17, but where do the time go? Pickups and drop offs, state to state like we got tours, chewing like we got lockjaw. This town only got 4 more. Burn it down till we got more. Track and say needles, I'm tucking the semi. My bitch fucking infinity, money coming, she renewed the renty. You been down since I only had one piece. That bitch out for a whole week, dug me out of the dirt like old cleats. I don't have no old beef. When it's dead, ain't no coming back. Young boy got on a plane and I'm funnin' that. NFL when it touchdown play, you get the running back. Pickups and drop balls, state to state like we got tours, chewing like we got lockjaw. This town only got 4 more. Burn it down till we got more. This stock's been at its peak, the Glock under the sea. New city lit, I've been here for a week. They been blasting the leaks, rocking the merch, taxing the cheap. The wheels on my back, the faction is deep.
Honestly, that's exactly what I expected. I really thought that that was going to be like a really hard track, and that's exactly what it was. Pleasantly good guess. Welcome. I hope you're well. But Skino B gives me such young Currency vibes, just very amateur Currency vibes, and I think that's fucking fire. You don't hear a lot of voices like this. I think Skino has such a unique voice, but regardless, let's break it down. Beat, vocals, theme. So beat choice here, really, really hard. I could just tell by the cover, and that's sort of what I anticipated. You know what I mean? This cover is a hard ass cover, so I figured a hard ass beat, right? And that's exactly what we got. Definitely more modern trap style. Definitely something for the nighttime. I like the beat choice here, especially for the theme of the song. Pickups and drop offs, absolutely perfect beat choice. No gripes here whatsoever. Mix was solid as well. Not too overwhelming, not too quiet. Definitely a solid beat choice, 100%. So shout out whoever produced that. But let's talk about vocals. I'm a huge fan of Skino B's voice here. And overall, but here you just get just a good, confident rap vibe from an underground artist. Pickups and drop offs. I'm not sure how recent this is, but it's definitely this year. So I know Skino's been working real fucking hard on a lot of his shit. So I fuck with this track a lot. Specifically, like I said, for the vocals. This is more one of those like hard hitting bar for bar kind of songs. Not too much focused on structure, but more so focused on spitting. And I think Skino did a really good job here. Now, like I said, not too much structure, but structured enough as to where like you could see why it's 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and you get your whole 2 minutes and 12 seconds worth for sure. But definitely one of those tracks that you ride to at night on the highway, man. Definitely one of those tracks it's a very hit a lick kind of song. It just really is, and it's a very down and grimy kind of beat. So I think Skino nailed the theme here overall. Pickups and drop offs. Is definitely one of those demon kind of vibe songs, but I think Skino added like a different twist to it because he actually had a decent amount of bars to spit, and I think this is like one of those songs where you could see the talent of an artist rather than like not so much like the structure of them and like how well they can like make a full song. I feel like Skino just spat and wrote and spat and wrote and just fucking you get some shit like this, and I feel like he nailed it 100%. So to me, pickups and drop offs, definitely A1. I would love to see and hear more of Skino B for sure. So shout out Skino, Money Green Music. You guys know the drill. Every artist featured on today's show and every show will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Now, 3 more submissions and 2 from non-submitting artists and 1 from a consistently submitting artist, a good friend of ours here at Music Mondays, Ghost Candy. He submitted his new track Demons, and I recently placed it in our SoundCloud Sunday playlist, which, by the way, if you haven't listened to that shit, make sure you go listen to it. SoundCloud.com/allmusicmondays. But we have Ghost Candy, Demons. Let's get right into it. I noticed when I was making the SoundCloud Sunday playlist, this is a really good cover, and like I said, like even if you're just adding the parental advisory sort of vibe on your covers, man, just make sure that you're adding some uniqueness to them, you know? So Demons by our returning artist Ghost Candy. Let's get into it.
Double cup, we fighting demons. Fuck boy wanna talk, we leave him leaning. Trying to live for another season. You better pass that J so I can see shit. Double cup, we fighting demons. Put that ice in, so now it freezing. All this shit got him fleeing. To be honest, don't entirely know the reason. Fucking this ain't no play day. Better be ready at payday. Going out saying mayday. Better watch out for the AK. How those will discriminate. Ain't gonna say it, hey. But then he turning gray. Turn him to a fillet. Wait on the cough in the blood. Continue this whole I dug. Grab that bruise I jug. Starting to feel none. Who can I really trust? Starting to feel rust. Oil is some must. Oil is some must. The sun is gone. The sun is gone. Need a light or the day is done. That shit sucks. I was having fun. I was wrong, I feel dumb. Clear the crust, left with crumbs. I've been fucked, left with lust. I'm so high, I can touch the sun. When I fall, it's gonna be dust. Double cup, we fighting demons. Fuck boy wanna talk, we leave him leaning. Trying to live for another season. You better pass that J so I can see shit. Double cup, we fighting demons. Put that ice in, so now it freezing. All this shit got him fleeing. To be honest, don't entirely know the reason.
All right. Look. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I'm just gonna keep it short and simple because these kinds of artists, right, and producers who cook up their own beats and rap on them, are extremely underrated. And I think not a lot of people realize that because this was getting a lot of popularity around, like, I'd say like the Russ era, when Russ made that like really popular, like when you would make a beat and then rap on it and yada yada yada. But this kind of shit is not that common anymore, especially in the underground. Like, not a lot of people do that and do it well. Especially in this style, because I noticed in the description, Ghost Candy put quick hookup sample Sonic Adventure DX music event number 1. Like, bro, to even sample some shit and then to put vocals on it is a whole nother game, dude. Like, that's fucking sick. Like, to me, this is already dirty in my book. Like, 100%. Like, because those of you that do produce or those of you that do vocals, it takes a lot to be able to actually do that, and sometimes you don't even want your own beats, or sometimes you don't even fucking have the ability to put vocals on songs like me because my voice is fucking ass. Like, so it just A1 for me, dude. I fuck with that a lot. But regardless, let's break it down. Beat, vocals, theme. So, beat, obviously, as you guys just heard, huge fan of this. Sample was Sonic. I think Ghost absolutely killed it. This could have been an instrumental, and I would feel the same way. You know what I mean? So, absolutely snapped, for sure. I think putting dope drums on any sort of good sample like this is, for one, super fun, and always comes out really fire. So, really great job on the beat. Not too loud, not too quiet. Maybe the 808s are a little iffy, but overall, excellent. A1. Vocals. And cadence and flow. Vocals were mixed solid. I know Ghost, obviously, I would assume, mixes his own vocals and lays them all down, does that all by himself. So, definitely an excellent, just a really good job on the mix, honestly. Like, not too much to, talk about there. I feel like Ghost always has like the same mix chain, you know, which is a good thing. You always want to sound consistent throughout your songs, and this is a good return from. Yeah, it was a good return for sure. Because I don't think we reviewed anything from Ghost Candy in probably a couple weeks, so a really great return from him for sure. Let's talk about the overall flows and cadence, though. I definitely liked the way the intro was and sort of upway until like the middle of the song, and then it got. I don't know. I don't know. It definitely made me feel some type of way. I felt like maybe like right here.
Gonna say it, hey, but then he turning gray. Turn him to a fillet. Wait on the cough from the plug. Continue this whole lot, duh.
Yeah, like the cadence switch right there is definitely like threw me off a little bit because I wanted to hear like the same like consistent flow throughout the song, but overall, like listening to it back now, like I think it worked, to be honest. Like this is one of those tracks where like you kind of have to pick that bouncy flow because it's a bouncy beat, you know what I mean? So it's really one of those cases, and for what the beat is, I think Ghost did a pretty good job here, for sure. And like I said, like cooking up a beat and then throwing vocals down on it is not exactly the easiest thing all the time, because if people hear that you could do that and just like think that it's possible to do that all the time, or like even other artists will think that, and it's just not the case. So overall, for cooking up his own beat and laying vocals down on it, I think Ghost did a really good job here, for sure. Solid job. Now, overall theme, definitely a struggle, sort of like gonna make it out kind of theme, but definitely a little bit of sporadic writing, and which is fine. I don't think that's a minus on the scoreboard here. I think the sporadic writing in certain songs can make it sort of like you don't have to look too deep, you know what I mean? It's just more like of a show of skill and like a vibe and like how well you can take a beat and make a track like this. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have like a super in-depth meaning to every single fucking song you make. And I think Demons was just one of those tracks where Ghost cooked up something fire and was like, let me see if I can lay some vocals down on this, and this is what you get. You know what I mean? So overall, I fuck with it a lot. I fuck with it a lot. Demons, when I heard it for the SoundCloud playlist, was instantly going in the playlist. So I fuck with it. A plus for me, for sure. Shout out Ghost Candy. Shout out everybody else who submitted. Per usual, every artist featured in today's show and every show will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Always a pleasure to hear from all you guys, but especially the returning artists, the ones that consistently submit their new tracks. Always a pleasure. Now, two brand new artists that we have never reviewed before. The first up is an artist known as Zmortal. Let's go take a look at their profile. Hi, I'm Zmortal. I'm an artist and beat producer. All music platforms, TikTok sounds, IG sounds. IG Zmortal94. Want to show love? Tap the little money icon on my page. Okay. Let's check it out. I believe they just linked their regular Spotify popular releases: Sunset Getaway, Sundays, Drifted Too Far, I Will Never Leave. 2020 latest release was Disoriented. We'll go with the latest release and see what Zmortal's working with here. No, I don't want premium. 2 minutes 18 seconds. Disoriented. Zmortal, first time submitting artist. Let's get into it. I'm kind of curious as to what we're gonna hear. I'm impressed. 100% a talented producer. Holy shit. Yeah, so like I said, first time submitting artist, Immortal. I didn't know what I was expecting, but this is one of the most unique and well produced beats I've heard on the show in a long time. Strictly from an instrumental point, Immortal is definitely talented. I'm not sure what you produce on, or if these drums are live drums, you use samples, yada yada yada. Regardless, definitely has what it takes to be a successful producer in the underground or just in his own producer space. You know what I mean? Because a lot of producers like to just make beats and put them out by themselves. But overall, let's talk about a few things here since we only have an instrumental. Let's talk about overall. I mean, we don't really break down that many beats, but I do want to talk about the melodies, and we'll talk about the drums, and then we'll talk about the overall vibe. So the melodies here, really unique, eye-catching, maybe a little bit too clashy, but not really, because you always want to be a bit more louder than you want to be more quiet when it comes to production. You know what I mean? I think quiet hurts you more than too loud does, but that's just my opinion. But overall, great melodies. I think the cover really matches the melodies vibes. You get a lot of just vibrant, sort of like museum art kind of vibes here. Very modern as well. Very modern vibe. But overall, I'm a pretty big fan of the melodies. I think there was, if it was a trumpet or some sort of, there was a couple synths in there, but I feel like they all mesh pretty well, and it's going to lead me into my next point, which is the structure of the overall beat. I feel like the melodies really switched up enough to not keep the beat kind of stale. I think the beat was bouncing around enough to keep any sort of listener engaged, or you could just throw it on in the background and it's not going to get repetitive at all. So that's one thing that Immortal has absolutely going for them, is the structure. They definitely know how to structure a beat, and like, especially in instrumental, right? Because you can structure a beat for an artist any way you want, but if you're structuring instrumentals just for listening, you always want to keep it fresh, and I think that's something that Immortal did for sure here. Drum choices were solid. I like the drums here. I like the way they're mixed. I like pretty much everything about the drums. I think Disoriented was a well produced track as far as sound design. Sound design is a big thing here, and I think they did a good job for sure. So overall theme, throwing everything together, I think Disoriented was a great title and a great single release. If I was a producer, this is definitely something that I would, well, I am a fucking producer, but I don't make this type of music, I guess you could say. That's what I wanted to say, but I definitely think this is single material for sure, if you ask me. But overall, a great first impression from me for sure. Shout out to Immortal, man. I would love to hear from you in the future. Thank you for the submission. Make sure you go show Immortal some love. Follow him on Spotify, Twitter, the whole nine. You guys know the drill. And of course, every artist featured today and in every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Now, last and certainly not least, Red Anti 2. I believe a first-time submitting artist, as well. Read me as Zoidberg. I'm half bot, half human. What? Trying to be something you call artists. Try to put in words, art, and music. What do you feel? How? I'm half bot, half. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? And their whole page is just retweets. And what are they submitting? Oh, it's his track. Why wouldn't you just submit it under your name? trying to be something. See, like those kind of vibes are like confusing to me, but we'll just get right into it for sure. Now, this was submitted not from the artists themselves, but it was submitted by them through a different account. An artist titled Formy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Snowy Monday is the track that they submitted. 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Let's get right into it. I'm curious as to what we're gonna hear. Interesting. Okay. I'm a huge fan of this. Really enjoy the structure here, but let's break it down. Snowy Monday is a perfect track title for this. I don't know if we've reviewed this before. I'm not too sure on when this track came out, but I feel like I've heard this before. But if not, it sounds rather familiar. But either way, track title nailed it for sure. This belongs on a lo-fi radio. This belongs on a very sort of chill study music radio for sure. This is one of those tracks you could submit like 100%. So I'm big on these lo-fi vibes and the overall theme that Form was going for here. Let's talk about the melodies and all the sounds used here. I think a lot of these sounds were really well picked. I think everything sounds really well together. Nothing sounds off. Nothing really stuck out to me. It's definitely your normal kind of lo-fi chill vibe 100%. And Snowy Monday is like, you probably couldn't have picked a better title for this, but I think it fits the overall theme really well. Like I said, melodies are great. I just want to talk about the structure because this is one of those beats that didn't flip around too much, but it flipped around enough. It flipped around enough as to where like nothing was stale, and there was even like a little like freestyle melody like in there like a couple times on like the hook and like the rewind. Like there was a lot of nice touches in this track like that make instrumentals really great. And I think this producer knew exactly what they were doing, and I fuck with it a lot for sure. So overall, sound design, melodies, drums, solid. Structure, absolutely A1 for the structure. The structure is perfect. I think this is a really chill vibe. This is something that you should be proud of, to be honest with you. This is a really solid lo-fi track for sure. I love the... There's nothing on here that I really dislike, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's not much critiquing or constructive criticism to be had here. I think they're doing an excellent job. And as long as you keep producing tracks like this, like, and keep branching out and try not to stay stagnant, once again, this is another artist and producer that could go extremely far if they keep doing their thing. So, shout out for him. Thank you for the submission. Much love, homie. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing, though. One thing that struck me as a little odd was the way that they did submit. I don't really like, if this really is a bot, that's pretty crazy. I don't think music needs any more artificial kind of like auto submitting kind of deals here, because like if you just look at the feed, like it's all nothing. So I definitely want to know the backstory behind the account you submitted on, but nonetheless, thank you to Form for the submission. Much love, homie. Keep doing your thing. And of course, per usual, every artist featured here and in every episode of Music Mondays will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. Now, it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. That was an excellent review session. It's always a pleasure to have new artists. There's always a mix of old artists. There's a lot of fun to be had doing this, man. And overall, I appreciate every and any artist who's ever submitted to Music Mondays. Thank you. That just about concludes episode 47. But we'll go into a few specific things before we log off here. One thing I do want to touch on is submissions and how to submit for the show. So for next week, episode 48, I believe next Monday's date is the 20th. Wow, we're getting extremely close to Christmas. So Monday the 20th is the next day I will be speaking to you on Music Mondays. So if you're interested in submitting for the show, or you have any art that you would like shown, viewed, music videos, fashion, NFTs, you name it, we look at it. So submissions will be open tomorrow, Tuesday the 14th. If you're watching on YouTube, just go follow us on Twitter. I'm sure you'll find the submission tweet. That is the most recent. Make sure you look at the dates on all these tweets, and that way you won't miss out on submissions, man. So it's pretty simple. Follow us on Twitter, find the date, drop your whatever you want to submit, and you're good. But SoundCloud Sundays, if you have SoundCloud tracks that you always drop, if you have new SoundCloud tracks, old SoundCloud tracks, make sure you submit to our SoundCloud playlist. Submissions open every Wednesday. The playlist drops every Sunday. Volume 9 will be live this Sunday, so make sure you get your tracks in this Wednesday. We discussed a lot about recruiting and a lot of really important things. So if you missed the beginning of the show, make sure you go watch the beginning of the show and every episode of Music Mondays. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, we need a guest episode, man. We need to get somebody on here. I had a lot of plans for a lot of people, but you know how it goes. And working with timings and getting people on that say they'll get on and don't get on are always crazy. But you guys know me, the show goes on regardless. I'll still be here every Monday, either way, with or without a guest. But a guest episode is looking pretty good. I'm looking into booking somebody with us before the new year. I'll say that. But either way, that's gonna do it for episode 47. I'll see you guys next week for episode 48. Shout out to every artist who submitted. Thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you drop a like, follow, subscribe, that whole nine. If you're featured in this week's episode, make sure you share it. Show your friends, show your fucking mom, show everybody. And as always, thank you. It's your boy Zomb Slays. Thank you for supporting Music Mondays. And I won't let you down. I'll see you guys next week for episode 48.